Hi everyone. So what you're looking at here is in Port St. Lucie. This is the home Omar Mateen lived in. This people here. Can we zoom in? Let's see. I can't zoom on this. Sorry, Durat. We're across the street from the home. This has been hours upon hours of investigation so far. Okay, what you're looking at right there is mostly FBI agents. We have FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement agents are here. Of course, Port St. Lucie is here as well. This is the home where Omar lived, and just about half an hour ago, we watched some agents take out what looked like some electronics, computer, it looked like a Mac from where we're standing now. We saw a cell phone being placed into a bag. Obviously, electronics are a big focus here. And now evidence in this horrific massacre in Orlando. We've talked to a couple of neighbors here. Ooh, that neighbor we never could get in. They're part of the scene. The neighbor 2 doors down tells us they had no idea. This family didn't really talk much. Very quiet. And then it looks like to be a main drag in Port St. Lucie. We had a lot of people come to this strip shopping center. These people like here, right here, people who live here are just absolutely stunned that their fairly small town, quiet town, is now the focus of a nation and quite possibly the world. The man who apparently called 911 committed his allegiance to ISIS, according to reports that we've had, and then went to Pulse nightclub in the wee hours, packed nightclub in downtown Orlando with an AR-15 and some other weapons, and just started firing. As you know, if you've been in touch, more than 50 people dead, another 50 injured, families racing to the scene, many people not yet identified, just a horrific scene miles and miles from here in Orlando. But here in Port St. Lucie is where the investigation into Omar Mateen himself is being centered. His parents own this home. They actually live a couple of blocks down now in another home. He lived here possibly with some sisters, we're hearing, but sisters might have moved out. He worked as a security guard. He has weapons licenses. He is licensed to carry weapons by the state of Florida as a security guard. He's got two licenses. And he worked for a time, we understand, nearby here in a community called PGA, a wealthy development. He was working as a security guard there, contracted possibly by the company he worked for in Jupiter. And we met people here who worked with him, who showed some people in and around us some text messages that were very concerning. People who saw the text messages report that they were about weapons requests, drug requests, seemed fairly unhinged according to people who saw them. And this is our first inkling that there are people here who really did have concerns about Omar Mateen and what he was capable of doing. So again, 937 is the address. That's the house. It's the house where he lived. He, as you probably know by now, was killed in the ordeal last night by police after a 3-hour hostage situation. They killed him. And so we have not seen any people go in and out of the house other than law enforcement. We've watched them look at the cars in the driveway. We've seen them in and out of the house. You can be sure that search warrant was signed pretty quickly. And this is the basis of what we're watching now. I'm going to ask everyone who's joining, love to have you. I'm honored that you're on, but can you kind of keep it classy for me? Because I want this to be something that my daughters can watch. So thanks for that. And so the outpouring of shock and horror and just disgust and hate for this man, we've seen that boy plenty. What else can I tell you about Omar Mateen? We know that his mother worked at a Walgreens in the cosmetics department here. We did meet one of her managers who said that, no thank you. Hi, Scott. So the mother, I guess, who worked at Walgreens, Omar's mother, had occasion to have her son with her at Walgreens. So we did meet a manager who had not very nice things to say about him and frightening to her. Hi, Terry. You know, a typical Florida dwelling, Terry Murphy, that's such a great description of this. If you look at the property records, it's an average to nice home. It's owned by his parents, who own another house down the block there. Tony Omar Mateen is who we're talking about. He is a 29-year-old who lived in that house, who early this morning actually walked into a nightclub, Pulse nightclub, with weapons in Orlando and just started firing and massacred more than 50 people. So for those of you just joining, that's who Omar is. Worst case of shooting carnage in American history is what the officials are calling it. And how this all came to happen, of course, is now going to be the focus of pretty much everyone in law enforcement. Really, how this man, he was on the radar of federal officials in 2013 and 14, we've just learned. You know, Benita, nobody's blaming anyone yet. We're just reporting what we know. And so what we have learned is that Omar Mateen was investigated by the FBI in 2013 and again in 2014. In 2013, he apparently had made some what was considered inflammatory statements to his co-workers, and an FBI looked into it and decided that he was not a credible threat. And then in 2014, he apparently had some known terror ties or known ties to a known terrorist. It's really, I don't mean to be unclear, but I'm just reporting what was part of the press conference. If I turn this horizontally, will it turn? Do you see that horizontally? Is that better? Horizontal is better, everyone. Okay, well, thanks for that tip. Great. It's easier on my arms, too. All right, so Mateen in 2013 and 2014, when he was investigated by the FBI in both times, the FBI decided there was no credible evidence that he was a threat, and so he has a gun license, and he had weapons, and he had a job as a security guard, and this morning he called 911 and pledged allegiance to ISIS before he walked into that nightclub and slaughtered innocents. So that's what we know here. Of course, if you're near a television or the web, feel free to turn on Channel 10, WPLG, Local 10, local10.com. We have been on wall to wall all day. We have reporters everywhere. We are on this for you from front to back. And so what we know and we can confirm, you will know ASAP. You know, worth it to say that right now they're, of course, investigating his ties, if any, to ISIS. They're thinking right now he is what they call a lone wolf, and that there was no ISIS directive, but that we don't know yet. So many people calling on a ban for assault rifles again. The AR-15 is one of his weapons. The agents here told us that they were wrapping up fairly soon, and that was about half an hour ago, and I'm going to guess they're going to come tow his cars. He was 29, Tony, 29 years old. No thank you, Miguel, for joining us.
They want to talk to you, Glenna.
All right, I'm going to have to sign off right now because my peeps, my producers at Local 10 are calling for us, so I'm going to sign off for now. Please do turn us on, local10.com, or on the web, and Local 10 if you're in South Florida. Thanks, everyone.